Stepmom, who always hated me, called the police and framed me for stealing her designer bag to get me out of the house. Then when Dad found out she was lying, she begged me not to press charges, but I sued her anyway while my dad cut me off. So for context, I, 22F, graduated from college about a month ago, and since then, I've been staying with my dad and stepmom. This is just a temporary arrangement, and my dad knows it, because he knows that I don't like my stepmom and I have no interest in staying with her on a long-term basis. Veronica, my stepmother, doesn't like me much either, so this works for us. My biological mother passed away when I was 9 years old, and when I was around 17, my dad started dating Veronica, and by the time I was 20, they were married. And from the beginning itself, she had never liked me much. I don't know what kind of person in their early 30s decides that they are going to hate a teenager for no reason, but that was Veronica. Even though she was much older than me, and she really did not have any reason to dislike me, she just seemed to have a very weird vibe around me from the beginning itself. I tried to be nice to her, but when I noticed that my efforts were not being reciprocated or appreciated, I stopped, and I started ignoring her. We lived in the same house until I went away to college, and it was not very pleasant because she was always looking for opportunities to pick on me. So naturally, I was not very happy about coming back to stay here, but until I'm able to find a job and afford rent, this is what I'll have to do. I had accepted it, but in the past month, it seemed like Veronica had become much worse than before. While I was in college, I would come back home for the holidays or a few weekends occasionally, but that would just be for a few days, and during that time, she would be tolerable because we would mostly just ignore each other. But I guess right now, she knows that I'm not here just for a couple days, and for some reason, she finds that impossible to deal with. So for the past couple of weeks, ever since I've moved back in, she has made it her life's purpose to get on my nerves. We have been fighting and bickering nonstop, and the funny thing is that whenever my dad comes back home, she puts on an act of being the best stepmom ever. So I know that there's no point in me telling my dad about any of this, because he's probably just going to think that I'm crazy. And I also don't want to be petty and give her the satisfaction, so I have stayed silent about it. But then, recently, she did something absolutely crazy, and I don't think that I can move on from that. So I have pressed charges against her, and now my dad is saying that I was the one who provoked her, so I shouldn't be taking this so far. Now I don't know what to feel. Basically, around 5 days ago, we got into a fight over something very petty. My father was at work, and I was applying to jobs online, so I was busy in the morning. And while I was filling out an application, Veronica just barged into my room and started yelling at me about the amount of laundry she had had to do because of me. She told me that it was too much work, and now, she wanted me to do my own laundry from this point onwards. And I happened to roll my eyes before telling her that I would, and she decided to sit and pick on that and turn it into something huge. She told me that this was her house, so I couldn't behave like that with her, and I told her that this was actually my dad's house, and she had done nothing in her entire lifetime to be worthy of staying here apart from finding the richest guy that she could and get married to him so she could sit and do nothing at home. She was being petty, and I was just reacting in the same way, and things got pretty bad. After a while, she left, and I thought that it was over, but that evening, after my dad came back home, she started screaming about how one of her brand new designer bags worth $25,000 was missing and started accusing me of stealing it. She told me that I didn't have a job yet, and she was pretty sure that I had done something. Instead of defending me, for some reason, my dad took her side on this and said that if I hadn't actually taken anything, then I should be supportive of her instead of getting defensive. It was very infuriating, and after a couple of minutes of us screaming at each other, she just decided to call the cops on me. It was quite humiliating for me, but the whole house was searched, including my room and my person. Everything was turned upside down, but they couldn't find anything, and eventually, it was reported as stolen, but I was let off the hook because clearly, I did not have it in my possession and they did not have any evidence otherwise. That night, because of how humiliated I had been, I decided to leave, and since then, I've been staying with a friend. I didn't speak to my dad, and neither did he try to stop me when I was leaving, so I knew where his priorities were. But then, 2 days ago, he decided to call me up in tears and told me that Veronica had confessed that she had taken the bag with her and kept it at a friend's place a couple of days ago with the specific purpose of framing me. She had told him the truth after he had caught her on the phone with this aforementioned friend, and they were discussing what had happened the other day, and he had apparently overheard her talking about how she was glad that I had finally left. He had decided to surprise her by coming back home early from work, but instead, it was he who ended up getting the shock of his life. He told me that he was really sorry, and right now, he and Veronica were not on speaking terms, but he wanted to make it up to me by inviting me back home and apologize to me in person. But I told him that there was no way that I was coming back so soon, especially until Veronica was gone. And I also told him that now that he had told me the truth, I was going to report her and press charges against her for trying to frame me. I was furious, but he tried to calm me down and he said that he wanted to deal with this as a family, and pressing charges against her was just going to make everything worse to the point of no repair. That's not what he wanted. He wanted us to get along, and so he pretty much begged me not to press charges, but I'm going ahead anyway. Because what she did was not just petty, it was dangerous, and I can't believe that she would go to such an extreme length, just to get me out of the house. There is something seriously wrong with that woman, and if my dad can't see that, and if he still expects us to get along at some point and sort things out, then there's something wrong with him too. The only reason I'm having second thoughts is because the friend I'm staying with has told me that if I do this, then I might as well say goodbye to any chance of reconciling with my father in the future, because it's very clear that he loves Veronica, for whatever reason, and if I press charges against her, then he'll probably never be able to forgive me and I'll lose him for good. She also reminded me that my father had given up a lot for me in the past, because after my mom passed away, he had pretty much taken care of me single-handedly without any help from anyone else in the family. Nobody had been willing to help us either, be it financially or emotionally. He had had to make a lot of sacrifices, and she just wanted me to think of that before I did anything. So that's why I'm sort of on the fence about what I want to do, even though I'm convinced that there's nothing wrong with me going ahead and pressing charges against Veronica. It's my dad that I'm worried about. So Wibta, if I decided to press charges against my stepmom for trying to frame me? Edit. Okay, so since a lot of people have been asking, I didn't mention it because I didn't think it was relevant, but my dad is around 48 and Veronica is 37 right now. They have an age gap of 11 years, and Veronica used to work when she first met my dad, but she quit after marrying him. So that's why I made that comment about her, that I spoke about in my post, and I don't think I said anything wrong because I know exactly the kind of woman that she is. Even though my dad can't see it, I can, and if I had known that this is how she would turn out to be after a marriage, I would have warned my dad in the beginning itself. Update 1. Hey, guys. So I have decided to go ahead and press charges against Veronica. Whatever relationship I had with my dad, I can't allow that to get in the way of what needs to be done. I respect him, I love him, and I admire everything that he has done for me. But that doesn't mean that I'm gonna let Veronica get away with what she did. Because what she did was not normal, and I hope that someday he's able to understand my side of things. And honestly, I think he should have seen this coming because he's the one who called me up and told me the truth. If he didn't want me to go against her, then he shouldn't have called me up and told me anything at all. I think that's particularly why he did not want me to press charges, because he knew that he was the one who told me, and he would feel very guilty if something were to go wrong. But now, it's too late, things are definitely going to go wrong for Veronica, and I'm not going to let this one go. I've already spoken to a couple of friends, and they have put me in touch with a good lawyer. It's going to cost me, but I think it's going to be worth it. I do have some money that my mom had left me. I didn't want to dip into it because I considered that my savings and I wanted to keep it aside for future emergencies or whatever. But I'm already in talks with a company right now, and I'm going to start next month, if everything goes well. They pay well, and I think this is something that's worth taking the risk because Veronica needs to be taught a lesson and she needs to realize that what she did was not okay. So I'm suing her for malicious prosecution, and she's just gonna have to pay me in damages if I win. Or she can go the other way and sort this out outside of court, which I'm also open to, but I just want her to realize that she's lost. Maybe a lot of people will find this all petty and vindictive, but I don't care. This is important to me and I'm gonna go ahead and do it regardless. Update 2. Okay, so for the past 2 weeks, I haven't kept in touch with my dad. He did keep trying to get in touch with me, he reached out to me several times, but I did not respond to him. Because I knew that I was going against what he wanted, and I did not want to fight with him. And I knew that if I spoke to him, he would just try to convince me otherwise. And I didn't want that either, so I just didn't say anything at all. I went through with the legal proceedings, I spoke to the lawyer and made all the arrangements, and 2 days ago, Veronica was finally served. And that evening, my dad started texting me again, even though for the past couple of days, he had been choosing to stay silent as well, because clearly, I was not responding, so I was not willing to talk to him. But once Veronica was served, that did not matter. He started blowing up my phone with messages and phone calls and kept telling me that he was very disappointed, that this is not how we wanted me to deal with things, and it was insane that I wasn't even considering his side of things. He told me that I was being incredibly selfish and petty, and this was not how he had raised me. To that, I finally replied, and told him that he had done a good job at raising me, but now it was my decision whether I wanted to deal with something in a vindictive way or if I wanted to deal with it with forgiveness or whatever. And I had chosen not to forgive Veronica, and I had a very simple reason for it. She was not sorry, so how could I even forgive somebody who was not apologetic for anything that they had done? It didn't make sense, so I had to go the other way. And I refused to be sorry for that because given the way he had raised me, he had also taught me not to take crap from anyone, so he can't be mad that I'm behaving exactly the way he had taught me to. I can't behave myself according to his convenience and he needs to realize that. I might be his daughter and I'm extremely grateful for everything that he has done for me, but ultimately, I am also my own person and he needs to let me be. Besides, if he seriously thinks that I can forgive Veronica after what she did, then he's seriously mistaken. She does not deserve my forgiveness, she didn't even ask for it, and in the past couple of days, it's not like she didn't have the time or opportunity to apologize to me and at least try to make things right. She did have plenty of time, but she actively chose to stay silent because she knew that my dad was going to take her side on this. Even though he was mad, he was still siding with her and that's what was even more upsetting for me. Because if he really wanted things to be sorted out peacefully, without anybody calling lawyers, then he could have easily spoken to her as well. And actually, I think that's what really should have happened. This was all her fault, he knew it, he had said it to me himself and if he had not accidentally overheard the conversation with her friend, he probably wouldn't even have been able to figure out the truth. Because she herself wouldn't have told him on her own, she needed to be caught and I'm fortunate that she got caught so soon. I actually got lucky that she was careless enough to be loud enough on the phone and my dad overheard her, because otherwise, he probably wouldn't even have believed that I was innocent, and I would have been investigated for no reason. She did all this just to get me out of their lives, and even then, he expects me to just forgive her and move on and act like nothing happened? I don't think that's fair to me, and I don't even think that makes any sense. Because if this had happened to him, he wouldn't have behaved the same way like he's expecting me to behave. And most importantly, if he wanted things to be sorted out, he should have spoken to her, he should have gotten her to apologize to me and then I might have even considered forgiving her. But he did not do that. He just kept trying to pressure me into letting it go. As if this is my responsibility somehow, and that doesn't make any sense to me. He's being extremely biased, and I can see that his priorities have shifted. In the past, I might have been his priority, but right now, I'm definitely not. Right now, it's all about Veronica and he only wants to please her and know what's right for her. He couldn't care less about what I'm going through, and that's very evident at the moment. It's hurtful, and I need him to understand that. So I texted him, and I told him all about this, and then he didn't even bother replying to me. I guess he just didn't have anything to say in his own defense, because whatever I said, it was all true. And he knows it, he would be a fool if he didn't. But anyway, I said whatever I had to say, and even after this, if he doesn't understand what I'm getting at, then that's really not my problem. I am not going to back down. I know that I'm doing the right thing and Veronica deserves exactly this. And I hope that she gets into a lot of trouble over this, because what she did to me was not fair, it was psychotic and I'm really very happy that she got caught when she did. Update 3, hi, folks. I'm very sorry for no updates for such a long time, but I got a job and I got very busy. In the past few months, I've moved into a new apartment, my own, and it feels amazing. I've been making my own money, been spending it on myself, and it feels very invigorating. I don't know how to explain it, it's just very new and feels amazing. Anyway, I know that people are probably reading because they want to know what happened between me and my dad and Veronica. So I did go ahead with the lawsuit, but she, within a couple of days itself, lawyered up and said that she wanted to come to a settlement outside of court. Now, as much as I would have liked to drag it out and make it a whole inconvenience for my dad and Veronica, I had financial constraints as well. So if she was just handing it to me on a platter, I was ready to take the settlement. Long story short, I got $30,000 out of this, which is $5,000 more than what the bag cost. And she got community service because at the end of the day, even if I did come to a settlement with her, she did make a false report. Thankfully, because it was her one and only offense, she got let off the hook easily. And I would say she got let off the hook with no consequences at all apart from the community service that she had to work off, because I think the money came from my dad's pockets, not her own. I don't even think that she has that kind of money, even that bad with a gift from my father on her birthday. But anyway, at least I got something out of it and that was the main motive anyway. Unfortunately, for the past few months, ever since this incident took place, my dad and I have not spoken. I haven't blocked him, neither has he blocked me, so he can reach out to me and so can I, but then we don't want to. The last message that I sent him was what I spoke about in my last update, where I basically called him out on his behavior and he didn't have any defense for that, so he just didn't respond to it. Until date, he hasn't bothered. It's fine, I guess, I don't have anything much to say about this. It's peaceful, but sometimes, I do end up missing my dad a lot. Because even after he got married to Veronica and I moved away for college, we kept in touch and he has been such an important part of my life for so long that it feels weird to accept that it's not going to be the same anymore. Even if we are somehow able to patch things up in the future, I know that things will never be the same again and that just feels weird and wrong. Update 4. Hi, everyone. So it's officially been a year since I last spoke to my father. I don't know what he's been up to. The only time I hear about him is when I attend family gatherings. He doesn't even attend those, so I haven't even seen him for a very long time. It's not surprising that he has distanced himself from everyone else, because he was never very close to anybody in the family to begin with. I only keep up appearances for the sake of being polite, but otherwise, even I'm not very close to these people. However, in the past year, I've tried to be present for most family gatherings because ever since I cut ties with my dad, I do feel a little lonely sometimes, and there's only so much that you can do with your friends or coworkers. From what I know, he and Veronica have been going strong and they are looking into adoption right now. I heard about this about a week ago, at one of my cousin's weddings, and it left me pretty shocked. I didn't know what to make of it, and after a very long time, I ended up crying about my relationship with my father at this point of time that night, after I came back home from the wedding. I mean, I guess it makes sense, they do want to move on with their lives, but at some point, I guess I just wanted my dad to choose me, his daughter, over Veronica. But in all honesty, as petty as it might make me sound, I really hope that they don't get to adopt anyone. Veronica is definitely not fit to be a mother, and I don't even know how my dad agreed to try and adopt a kid with her, of all people, especially after what she did with me. She was obviously insecure of me, that's why she wanted to push me out of my dad's life altogether, that's why she went to such an extent, and even after all that, he chose to forgive her and work things out with her instead of trying to understand my position. I won't lie, it makes me very angry and upset whenever I think about it, which is why I actively try not to think about my father. But it doesn't help, it doesn't change the facts, and it still hurts sometimes. Last week, I was really disoriented by this news, but now that it's been a few days, I'm pretty confident that they are not going to be able to. I don't know what it is, I just have a good feeling, and I know that it's not going to work out for them. It's not that I don't wish well for my dad, it's just that I'm being realistic. Sooner or later, he will realize how empty his relationship with Veronica is, and how big of a mistake he has made. And by then, it'll be too late to repair his relationship with everyone else. He has made his choices, and he has dug his grave, so whatever. Update 5. So hi, everyone. I didn't think that I would be posting any updates here after so long, but here I am. A lot has changed in the past 3 years, and well, I'm getting married now. My fiancé and I have been together for the past 3 years now. I had actually already started seeing him by the time I posted my last update here. It started off as a fling, but with time, we realized that we really love each other, and I guess it stuck. So yeah, we've been living together for the past year and a half, and recently, he proposed. It's been a week since then, and a couple of days back, I posted it on all my social media accounts. Obviously, I was very happy, and lots of people congratulated me. One of those people who congratulated me and reached out after a very long time, you guessed it, was my father. It was very weird, because we haven't spoken for almost 4 years now, so I didn't know how to react to it. I did hear from a couple of relatives last year that he and Veronica had hit a rough patch and they were living separately right now. I also knew that he had developed a drinking habit, which is not surprising because from what I knew, even my grandpa suffered from alcoholism during the later stages of his life. I just never expected my dad to give into it, because he was never much of a drinker. On several occasions, I wanted to reach out to him, because I missed him a lot, but then, I would remind myself of what had happened. I could never forget the fact that he had chosen Veronica over me, so I never reached out. This time, he messaged me, and he congratulated me. And in the spirit of new beginnings, I responded to that message and thanked him, but that was it, I didn't say anything else. Then, he replied to it again and said that he had been planning on reaching out to me for a while, and he told me that for the past 4 years, he had only been thinking about how I was right about everything that I had said. He told me that he had been extremely selfish, and now, he was paying for it heavily. He said that he and Veronica had separated, and now, they were considering a divorce. Of course, he was going to have to pay alimony, because she had not worked for a long time, and on account of being unemployed, even if it's by her own choice, he was still going to have to support her until she either chooses to get remarried or if she gives it up for whatever reason. But until then, he's going to have to continue supporting her. He said that things had gone very bitter between the two of them in the past couple of years, and he never was able to truly bring himself to forgive her for what she did. And neither was he able to forgive himself because ultimately, he had realized that it was his own fault, but by then, I had already stopped speaking to him, and he was too ashamed to reach out to me. And then he told Veronica that he did not want to adopt a baby with her, because he felt like she was trying to replace me, and they ended up getting into a huge fight over that, which is actually why they separated in the first place. He ended the message by congratulating me once again and saying that he was sorry and that's why he wanted to reach out to me, and this seemed like a perfect opportunity to give me his blessings for the future and ask me for forgiveness for everything that happened in the past. And I won't lie, I pretty much teared up at that message. So I visited him in the evening, my fiancé, and I dropped by and it was clear that he had not been doing well because the house was kind of dirty, not as well kept as he used to have it earlier, and he himself didn't seem to be that happy and healthy either. But he was thrilled to see me, and we broke down as soon as we hugged. We didn't speak much about the past, we didn't even discuss what we were going to do in the future, but we did say that we would like a fresh start, both of us. It's not going to be easy, it's definitely going to be very awkward and uncomfortable and it's going to take a lot of hard work, but as long as both of us are willing to put in that effort, I think it's going to work. And with Veronica gone, I think it's going to be worth it. It took him a lot of time, but I'm glad that he finally did come around. Now, I just hope that things go better in the future for us both.